delegates, 220. If we had taken 2017, they would have received 213 delegates. You see, the impact is very minimal on your delegate count, dear divisions. Let me take you to the inter-European division. We are now preparing the 2015 GC session, so the figures of 2013, they would have received 100 delegates, or rather they did receive 100 delegates. If this policy were in place, they would have received still 100 delegates. We are now preparing for the 2020 GC session, therefore we need to take figures from the 31st of December 2018, they had 100 delegates. If this new policy were in place, it would have been 2017, or they would still have 100 delegates. So what I want you to see is that this new proposal has limited impact on the delegate count of divisions. I have a last division for you, and then I will be ready to make a motion. Let's go to the SSD. 2013, they had 150 delegates. If this new policy were in place, 2012, they would have 114 delegates. We are now preparing for the 2020 GC session. 2018, they had 154 delegates. If this new policy were in place, they would have 154 delegates still. Mr. Chair, I hope it is abundantly clear to our delegates that this policy is here for only one reason. Please believe me. This has a direct impact with my office. There is only one reason that substantiates this change: to give us more time to prepare for a GC session of this nature.
So before you proceed to propose your motion, we have a point of order on microphone number 1. Ingrid, and I will pronounce this wrong, I'm sure, Wijgaard, from Netherlands Union of Churches Conference in TED, please.
Dear Chair, I'm a little bit confused. This morning we were told that today would be on the church manual only, and tomorrow would be on the bylaws. The agenda does not break down for us what amendment will be in order and what the sequence will be. So it is not feasible for us to prepare enough and good if we are constantly jumping back and forth in the agenda.
The point you made is not true. We did not agree that we would be limited to church manual items today, and therefore we will proceed as planned.
It was told.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that then you can proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And with your permission, and through you also, if I may humbly add, with respect, because this question is coming also from a perspective of respect and desire to know more about how the church operates. So let me respectfully remind this august audience that, you know, the agenda packet was sent 6 weeks before we convened. So I'm very sure that, Mr. Chair, they had ample time to prepare. So thank you kindly for the permission to proceed. I have a last piece of information, and then I think it will be clear and I will be able to make the motion. I can see some of you wondering, but Hensley, what will happen if we organize new entities after the cutoff date? Of course, if these new entities are organized after the cutoff date, we cannot allocate to these entities any delegate for a GC session. We cannot, because the cutoff date has been determined. However, there is a little nuance here. I don't want to go too technical. If this new entity is a union, it's a union, whilst the union itself will not get delegates to a GC session, the president of that union, by virtue of his position, will be a member of the GC Executive Committee and therefore will be a delegate to GC session. So, Mr. Chairman, we have tried our best with my office to give you clarity on what we are doing, and I think I am now in a position to make this motion to change second to third. I have moved it, Mr. Chairman.
All right, it's been moved. Is there a second? I see cards raised. Thank you very much. The motion is before the floor for anybody wanting to make an observation or a comment. Thank you. On microphone number 11, we have a GC delegate at large from EUD, Alfred Soar. Please.
Brother Chair, I would like to express my sincere appreciation for this report and the due diligence that was invested in the preparation. However, I do wish to raise one concern. While the proposed policy responds to immediate challenges, it primarily addresses the symptoms rather than the root cause, namely the evolving legislative changes in the United States. In light of this, I recommend that the General Conference consider exploring alternative countries such as Canada that may offer a more stable environment for General Conference meetings.
Thank you. We go to microphone number 10. We have Bangwato Sikwaramabu, GC Delegate at Large. Microphone number 10, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My sentiments are very similar to the previous speaker. What I would seek to appreciate is why must the General Conference be in the US if we are having such challenges that are forcing us to change our very constitution? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Microphone number 3, Teddy Eruba, Aba East Conference Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the necessity to make such a motion, but there has to be a corollary amendment of the motion to add an exception to make provision for replacements that may arise from death or other unforeseen circumstances. I therefore propose that we amend the motion to include a clause. So, however, the replacements can be made up to the second year to the GC section. Thank you.
All right, that's not germane to the point that is on the floor. Therefore, we will go to microphone number 8, Israel Kafero, East Central Africa Division. Microphone number 3, please.
Chair, I stand to agree with the motion, and I wish that we could include a clause so that we can be more flexible when it comes to getting delegates, because we were told that no appeal, no replacement. Is it possible that we include a clause so that we can be flexible? Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll take the last on the microphone number 5, Mundia Liwali, please, from Southern Africa Indian Ocean Division.
Mr. Chairman, just like the other previous speakers have said, may we consider taking the GC session to Africa? There will be less problems as far as visas are concerned. Thank you, Chair.
All right. I think we have one more on the microphone, number 3, Teddy Aruba.
Mr. Chairman, please forgive me. I'm trying to understand what is at stake. My impression is that the amendment is to increase the period of time that delegates can be allotted for the purpose of attending the General Conference section. And it is on the basis of this understanding that I was proposing an amendment to that period of time, because if a delegate has been nominated as required by that constitutional provision to attend the General Conference session 3 years before the session, and something happens along that line, the conference that has been allocated that delegate finds it necessary to change that delegate, either because the delegate has died or out of apostasy or any other reason. I believe that an amendment that allows the conference to make replacement is consistent with the requirements of the proposed motion. Otherwise, the conference that has that delegate may, by refusing to add this clause, be denied the opportunity that ordinarily ought to have existed for them to send the required number of delegates to the convention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Hensley, you would like to respond to that?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I truly appreciate the attentiveness of our delegate to our church governance. Thank you. Let me clarify something else. There is already provision in our document for replacement. Someone else had talked about it previously. There is provision. However, if you are replacing a delegate who was in the pastors category, frontline pastor category, the replacement has to be in that same category. So, through you, Mr. Chairman, I will reassure my brother that should something happen to a delegate during these, it will not be 3 years. If something were to happen to that person, the entity, either a conference, a mission, or a union, or a division, will be given the possibility to replace that delegate. And we have done it even now, and it exists already, and the provision is for this to happen in the same category. So this exists already, Mr. Chair. Thank you kindly.
Thank you for that clarification. We have another point of order on microphone number 8. Pierre Augustin from Inter-America Division, please. Microphone number 8.
Bonsoir, cher Président. J'aurais aimé avoir...
I can translate for you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your assistance.
Good evening, Mr. President. I would like some clarification. Oh, I'm asking myself this question then. Please proceed. Allez-y.
Ok, merci beaucoup. Je vais en premier les féliciter, la conférence générale.
I would like to congratulate the GC.
Vraiment, j'apprécie beaucoup la façon dont se déroulent les assises.
I am very happy for the way the meetings are conducted here.
Compliment.
We are kudos to you.
Cependant, j'ai une remarque à propos de cet amendement.
I have a comment regarding this amendment.
You rose to a point of order. And if you have a point of order, please state it.
Quand vous étiez venu au micro, vous aviez dit que vous aviez un commentaire à faire, mais pas sur le point qui est à l'ordre du jour. Ce n'est pas un point of order, ce que vous dites en ce moment.
Effectivement. Excusez-moi.
So I'm very sorry for that.
All right.
Je peux continuer?
May I proceed, Mr. Chair?
No.
Non,
you rose to a point of order. You can come back again if you want to take. Remember, there are others who are on the line, probably before you, so we are just following and being fair to everyone. Thank you. All right, we go to microphone number 3. Oh, number 11. That is from South America Division, Pablo Hermenegildo Chavez Chiclayo. Forgive us where we mispronounce your names.
Muy buenas tardes con todos. Muy buenas tardes, señor presidente. En esta tarde quiero agradecer por los datos que nos han informado. Sin embargo, estoy un poco en contra de la moción debido a los siguientes puntos.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be here, and I would like to speak against the motion.
Si bien es cierto, veo que se han evaluado las oportunidades de mejora que presentaría aumentar de 2 a 3 años toda la organización y la selección de los delegados. También creo que debería evaluarse las desventajas que podría traer alargar de 2 a 3 años toda esta elección.
Even though I think it would be very good to adapt the 2 to 3 years before the session, there are some problems that will bring with this 3-year instead of 2-year period.
Por ejemplo, estaba pensando en desventajas como puede haber rotación en el liderazgo. A través de 3 años pueden ocurrir cambios importantes de cambio de países, cambio de trabajo de los delegados.
Some of the things that might happen is some of the delegates would change countries, would change jobs, places. That would be one problem.
Adicionalmente tendremos que evaluar que la visa también tiene un vencimiento, así que cuando puedes alargar más también tiene más riesgo de que pueda vencer la visa y de que los miembros en cada asociación y en cada misión cambien.
Also, we need to remember that the visas have an expiration date, and that can also be a problem. Some of the visas can expire before we get to the session, and the conferences and missions might have some problems with this.
También quería que consideremos que alargar de 2 a 3 años se considera un mayor costo, tanto logístico como económico, para poder hacer un seguimiento oportuno a cada delegado.
Extending the period from 2 to 3 years also makes it a little bit harder to follow up with every or each of the delegates.
Y a través de los 2 o 3 años también puede generar un cierto desinterés o cambio en las oportunidades que tenía el delegado o en las aspiraciones que tenía el delegado de poder ir.
And making the change also might be bring some disinterest for the delegate of the aspirations that the delegate had to go to the GC session.
Entonces, esperemos que se tome en cuenta eso. Desde mi punto de vista, hay más desventajas en alargar más este proceso que en que quede tal cual estaba. Muchas gracias.
So in my opinion, we have more disadvantages in taking 3 years instead of the 2 years that we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now go to microphone number 3, Velealum Lokia from Northern Nigeria Union Conference in WAD. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I speak in favor of the motion. Anywhere in the world that the GC session may be held, be it in South America, somewhere in Europe, or even in Africa, each country has visa policies, and they do not apply the same way everywhere. And so, in my opinion, having the opportunity to start the process earlier, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. I know that in my country, for instance, if we had been given more time, perhaps we could have had the opportunity of bringing more delegates than we did at the moment. So I strongly support the motion, and I speak in its favor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We proceed to microphone number 11, Stephen Sepp, Australia Union of Churches Conference in Austrian, sorry.
Mr. Chair, I call for the previous question. I move.
All right. Previous question is called. Is there a second? All right. Okay, we normally don't whistle in these meetings. We will appreciate doing it otherwise. Okay, if there is, we have a call to the previous, a call on previous motion, and that is to cease the debate on the motion. Been seconded, therefore we can go directly to vote. We will use our cards. We'll use our cards. If you're in favor that we cease debate, discussing, you can indicate that by saying yes. If not, say no. All right? You ready to vote? All in favor that we cease debate, please indicate by raising your card. Thank you. Opposed by that same sign? Okay, the yes have it. Therefore, we will go back to the main motion which was presented, and I wish you can repeat it again for clarity.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it will be on the screen momentarily, and we are here proposing to amend the GC Constitution and Bylaws to read as follows. I want to give you the exact wording, and I see my colleagues from the AV team working hard. So I move that we amend the GC Constitution and Bylaws Article 5 dealing with GC sessions as found in the session agenda per what I have presented. I have moved it, Mr. Chair.
All right, it has been moved, and it was seconded actually. Yeah, it was seconded. So we will go directly into voting. If you're in favor of the motion, you vote yes. If you're opposed to the motion, you will vote for no. We will use our cards to vote, and therefore all in favor and in support of the motion, please indicate that by raising your cards. Thank you. Opposed by that same sign. Thank you very much. The motion carries. All right, we will proceed to another agenda, the next agenda rather.
Thank you very much. Let's take our delegate, Sister Sherry, to item 202. Let's go to the agenda packet. We are now going to deal with item 202. Thank you for your support on item 201. Item 202 is about the territorial administration, and I will share with you what we are doing here. By the time this comes to the screen, I will share with you the rationale behind what we are doing. In a few moments, I will share with you a little video that we have prepared to show you how the composition of annual council and spring meeting has increased over time. Now that we are having a full spring meeting, you know, maybe I should preamble this by saying that in the life of the General Conference, administrative life of the GC, we have two big meetings, right? One in spring, in the Northern Hemisphere it's spring, normally in April, and the other one, annual council, normally in October or thereabout. So these are the two big meetings in the life, in the administrative life of the General Conference. Now we have a full committee convening for a spring meeting. True, it is a hybrid meeting, but the full committee is here. So now that the full GC Executive Committee is invited to participate in a hybrid spring meeting, agenda items previously held only at an annual council are now open for consideration at spring meeting. Are you with me? Now that we have increased the membership Now we have the full committee coming for spring meeting. It's a hybrid meeting, but we are asking for this permission to handle items that were normally handled only at an annual council to be, if needed, also handled at a spring meeting. But I have some history for you, and follow this little video. And I want one thing to be abundantly clear in your mind, that throughout history, the General Conference has always wanted to increase the membership of either annual council or spring meeting. Please, watch this short video.
Before 1986, those who attended the annual council were 1. GC Executive Committee members who resided in the North American Division, 2. Division presidents, 3. Division secretaries and treasurers would attend on a rotational basis every other year. The 1986 Annual Council in Rio de Janeiro marked a significant change when all 3 division officers from all world divisions started attending Annual Council together. This practice has continued ever since. At the 2000 GC session in Toronto, the bylaws of the GC were amended to include that Annual Council is the meeting when all members are invited to be present. Regarding the spring meeting of the GC Executive Committee, no division president attended until it was voted in 1991. Later in 2001, it was decided that all division officers would attend the spring meeting on a regular basis. Historically, spring meetings primarily focused on budget and finance matters, with a strong representation from GC Executive Committee members residing in the North American Division. This is why union presidents in the NAD attended, but not division officers from around the world. Limited on-site attendance of GC Executive Committee members for the spring meeting was primarily due to financial travel expense concerns, resulting in a smaller number of people being invited with their expenses covered. In 2023, the General Conference voted that all GC Executive Committee members can attend the spring meeting through online electronic arrangements, with division officers being invited to attend on-site with financial arrangements made for them. This has allowed for a fuller representation at spring meetings and has come a long way from when only a limited number of attendees were present. It is a privilege to have full world participation in the spring meeting, as well as the annual council and other GC Executive Committee meetings conducted through electronic means. This united approach is important for God's church as we navigate this constantly shifting environment and work together for the proclamation of the 3 angels' messages in anticipation of Christ's soon coming.
Mr. Chairman, I reiterate my point. This little video shows us how throughout history the GC has been intentional in increasing the membership, the attendance to our 2 big meetings, Annual Council and Spring Meeting. Therefore, I would like my sister Sherry to take us to our agenda packet, please, and I will show you what we are suggesting. I am on page 36 of your agenda packet, and I'm reading from line 2022. I'm reading from line 22. So, from 21 I can start. It reads, the boundaries of these divisions shall be subject to adjustment at a spring meeting or annual council. So we are adding that section here because now, as I explained, we have the same membership. And if you go to line 25, the same is applicable. We are adding spring meeting as well. So, Mr. Chairman, I have moved this item.
All right, thank you. It's been moved and seconded. And if there are any questions, any comments, yes, on microphone number 10, Alfred Soare, GC Delegate at Large EUD, GC. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have one question. Will the expenses of lay people be also covered for spring meeting in order to make it possible to attend these meetings?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I can see that our delegate here is thinking of traveling to the next spring meeting from Austria to Silver Spring.
Amen.
So, Mr. Chairman, currently, for our laypersons, our frontline pastors, currently, they are attending online for spring meetings. The only people who are coming on site are the division presidents. This is the current situation. Now, anything can change, but I am answering based on what exists currently. So to be clearer, the answer is no. This is not the intention, Mr. Chair. We'll still expect our laypersons and the other people that I have just mentioned, the other members that I have just mentioned, to attend electronically. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. On microphone number 2, Niklas Rantanen, Trans-European Division.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not speaking for or against the motion, but I am questioning some things. In general, I like the direction we're going. It's more diligent to meet twice a year than once a year, and it is saving time and resources that we use video conferencing. However, in my personal, professional, and congregational experience, people are more present and they contribute more when you meet them face-to-face in the same room. And this is not always required, but when we decide the most important matters, I think that is important. And when we discussed this in the GC Executive Committee, the administration argued that there is essentially no difference between meeting face-to-face and online. But they still agreed that the major items should and would be left for annual councils where we meet face-to-face. And they promised that they would act accordingly. But there are two small issues with this. First, who decides what's actually major? And second, how long can we expect the future leaders to operate based on promises made by the previous leaders? Is it 10, 5, 20 years before we forget what has been promised? So multiple executive committee members suggested to add safeguards to ensure that the mutual agreement is maintained even when other disagreements might arise. However, the leadership opposed adding any and just demanded that we trust the promise. So my question is this: if we agree that the most important matters should be left to be discussed face-to-face, as long as circumstances allow, then why are we not being presented with a policy that reflects that agreement and understanding? Why wouldn't the Constitution and Bylaws Committee be diligent, withdraw the motion, make the necessary amendments, and then bring it back? Thank you.
All right, you may want to respond to that.
Very briefly. Sometimes, Mr. Chairman, the hardest questions are the most important ones. And thank you for encouraging us to that reflection. A couple comments. Number one, the promise, I remember my brother, he spoke at annual council also when this item was brought to the floor. The promise we made at that time is still on the floor and it will be kept. The promise we made, that is, if there are some matter of substance that need to be addressed, we always favor, and we will always favor, a face-to-face meeting because we want people to react. So we kept that promise and we will keep it still. That's number one. Number two, my esteemed colleague there said that the officers maybe were not very clear on the difference between attending a meeting, a virtual meeting, and a face-to-face meeting. I think there are studies that have been conducted that indeed prove, dear delegate, that nothing will replace a face-to-face meeting. So we still believe in that. Now, finally, there is one thing that is very important here. That is, we are open for consideration. I think here there is a matter of trust. Trust the officers. If there is something that needs to be addressed, we have a larger group, we call them the GCDO, that is the GC and division officers, where these matters are discussed. So In summary, my response is around we will keep our promise to be sure that these matters of substance are discussed in a face-to-face meeting. Number two, we are aware that nothing replaces a face-to-face meeting. And number three is about trusting the process, meaning if there is a matter of substance, this will be discussed in other bodies. And if it is felt that this has to come to an annual council, if I'm still the Undersecretary, that's not a prophecy, but if I'm still the Undersecretary, I will ensure, Mr. Chair, that these items are brought. So I believe my answers will touch on these three items. Thank you kindly.
Thank you. On microphone number 12, Norbert Zenz, Inter-European Division, please.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Chair. For the reasons that just have been mentioned, I would really stand against that motion because I believe from a governance perspective, there should be clear guidelines how we then are going to differentiate matters that would go to annual council or to spring meeting. And I think we all have experienced the last GC session, and we know the quality of participation is very much different whether you are present online or in presence. Therefore, I would stand against the motion.
Thank you. We go to microphone number 1, Ingrid Wijbingade. And help us how we pronounce your name, please. Forgive me for missing it out. The Netherlands Union of Churches.
My name is pronounced as Wijngaarde.
Wijngaarde.
It means vineyard.
All right, thank you.
I would advise against this motion, Chair, because in every organization, budgeting and appropriations are in the fall. New plans, new budgets, new personnel are allotted in the fall. And the spring meetings are, the spring gatherings are in most companies are for reviewing financial reports. And I think that this amendment is not well thought because it contradicts what is presented in Article 13 of the same bylaws in Section 2A. There is stated that the spring meetings are for financial reports. So I think there is a contradiction here, and I don't think it's necessary to have two meetings to be on the same things. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tim Standish, General Conference, microphone number 10.
Thank you, Brother Chairman. I have a question and possibly a motion to make. My question is, when was this change to spring meetings made? By what entity and authority was this sort of major change in the way our church is made? Was it by a full General Conference session, or was it by some smaller group?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I can hear in this question a desire to know more about how transparently we operate, and it is in that same spirit that I will answer. This decision was taken in June 2023 by GC ADCOM, and it was ratified by the following spring meeting.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I would suggest that a major change like this should be the subject of our discussion right now here in a full session of the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. I question the authority of any lesser body to make such an extraordinarily large change in the way that business is done in our church.
All right, thank you very much. We'll take that under advisement. Then we move to microphone number 11. Ginger Ketting-Weller, Adventist International Institute of Advanced Studies in the Philippines. Please.
Good afternoon, Brother Chair.
Good afternoon, thank you.
At the time this decision was made, I was on the GC Executive Committee, and I do believe the intent was to be transparent. However, I stayed home spring of 2024 and attended online, expecting that it would be solely reports, that we would vote to accept the report. And as you may remember, a task force reported, and I spoke up from online because I felt that this set of recommendations that affected higher education had not included higher education in the consideration of the recommendations being made. I felt disadvantaged because I was not there in person, and a major set of recommendations was brought to the floor with the concerns that I had. So for that reason, while I do think the intent is there, that particular situation did concern me, and I would want to be present as an executive committee member for any set of recommendations that comes like that. Again, if it's listening to reports and accepting the reports, I think it's a very efficient way to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ginger. We will proceed to microphone number 10, Alfred Soare, GC Delegate at Large. Microphone number 10.
Thank you very much, Brother Chair. As my brother Nicholas already stressed, we asked for a clear policy at the annual council, but we received the attestation to trust the ADCOM. The only thing we trust is policy. This is the reason why the Undersecretary upholds the importance of policy. Now, the motion on the floor fails to regulate major issues. This is the reason I make a motion to refer this to back to the steering committee. I move.
All right. Would you be all right if we referred this item back to the Constitution and Bylaws Committee?
Yes, of course.
Taking your recommendation for consideration.
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. We will treat it that way, and therefore a motion will be in order that we refer this back to the Constitution and Bylaws Committee. Would you like to move that?
I move.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second? Yes, I see a second. Okay, any observations on the recommendation that we refer back so that this matter can be considered again by the Constitution and Bylaws Committee? Okay, are we ready to vote? And we'll be voting on the recommendation to refer to the Constitution and Bylaws Committee. If you are in favor, please indicate by raising the card. In favor of referring back to the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, thank you. If you're opposed, by the same sign. Thank you. The item will be referred back to the Constitution and Bylaws Committee. With that, I suggest we rise up a little bit. We've been sitting for about an hour, and then we will instruct you on what will be the next item. All right. Right now, I understand the nominating committee is ready to bring a report. Please.
Good afternoon, delegates, special guests, and friends who are joining us today. The nominating committee has continued its work this morning and throughout the day. And we are pleased to bring to you 3 reports at this time. We want you to know that the nominating committee has been seeking God's guidance and His special blessing in our work as we have carried that forward today. The first report that we would like to bring to you in just a moment will reference one of the officer positions. But before I ask our secretary to present the name, I would like to give a special gratitude to the vice chair of the nominating committee, Dr. Ella Simmons, to the secretary, Pastor Magdio Pettis-Schultz, and to the assistant secretary, Melina Barbau-Fleury. The first report that we bring to you this afternoon is for the secretary of the General Conference. I would ask the secretary of the nominating committee to present the name.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. For the position of secretary, the nominating committee brings the report to give to you the name of Pastor Rick McEdward, currently serving as president of the Middle East and North Africa Union. I move it, Pastor Chair.
All right, it's been moved. Is there a second? Seconded. Thank you very much. We have the first report from the nominating committee with a name and a picture on the screen. And we will use the election body to vote on this. And seeing none on the microphone, I think we can proceed to voting, and we'll await.
Mr. Chair, election buddy is opening up, and it should be there here in a second. This is for the next item. So, Mr. Chairman, it is open.
All right, it's open. I see we have somebody on the microphone, number 5. Maybe I went a bit fast.
Are you going to take that while we're voting, or do you want?
I'm advised, if we can proceed with the vote, maybe we can take your comment after the vote because there is a time limit on how we can do this. All right? Let's proceed with the vote. I think it's already before us. Can we proceed? All right, you can proceed. It's open. Please make your vote if you're in favor. Yes. If not, no. And don't forget to submit. Make sure you submit your vote. All right. We will now close the vote.
All right, Mr. Chairman, the voting is closed. The results will be here momentarily.
Thank you very much. You have expressed your wish on this. We are grateful to you. Thank you. Yes.
We would like to invite Pastor...
Let me address an item. This is out of the ordinary, and actually we had gotten a way off to prepare for the vote. That's why I skipped microphone number 5. But let me give you this opportunity just to state a point you had. Wilson Measapogu, Southern Asia Division, SUD.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My pardon, maybe I'm a little late. Just want to say that I know Elder McRick Edward, and I'm really thankful to God for this great man who...
Usually we don't take comments here. They're done in the nominating committee. So, Pastor Wilson, thank you for your support.
Thank you.
All right.
At this time, we would like to invite Pastor Richard McEdward to join us here on the podium, and his wife, Marcia, as well.
As you can imagine, the last few hours have been challenging for me and my wife. And it's humbling to be asked, and we will strive to live up to the trust you've been placed in us and to keep the mission foremost in our areas of responsibility. So thank you, and please pray for us while we do our best for the Lord and His church.
We now bring the third report from the nominating committee to this body, and that is the recommendation for the position of General Conference Treasurer. I would ask our secretary to present the name to this body.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Report number 3 from the nominating committee is for the position of General Conference Treasurer. We bring to you the name of Pastor Paul Douglas, the incumbent. I move it, Pastor Chair.
All right, it's been moved. Let me take the action of clapping as a second. And the name is before us and the famous picture. And therefore, we will again proceed to use the election body. But before that, we have somebody on the microphone, on microphone number 12, Rat Vigua Andres, French-Italian Swiss Conference, EUD.
Excuse me, but sometimes we don't know the person that you are proposing, and we have to vote without knowing them. It's possible to do a small presentation of the person. Please, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We'll take that under advisement. Let's go on to voting using the election body.
All right, Mr. Chairman, the ballot is open.
All right, now that is open, you can proceed to vote. And I would always remind you, once you have indicated your vote, please don't forget to submit. Votes are still coming in, but we'll be closing in a little while, so submit your vote.
Right?
Mr. Chairman, the ballot is closed, and the results will be here momentarily.
Again, thank you very much. Vote is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We would like to invite Elder Paul Douglas and his wife, Rochelle, to join us here on the stage.
I want to thank God for the continued privilege to serve in this capacity. I don't believe I'm worthy, but I'm willing, knowing that the same God who has called me is the same God that will empower me to do his work. And I commit to this body of delegates and to our church that I will serve as a faithful steward of his resources to finish the work of the gospel. Jesus is indeed coming soon. We have everything that we need. Most importantly, we have God. So thank you, delegates, for affirming the recommendation of the nominating committee. I am here to serve you and to serve God. Thank you.
This afternoon, and the fourth report actually from the nominating committee references the general vice presidents. Perhaps we should just note that each of the division presidents is a vice president of the General Conference, and those names will be coming to this body after the various caucuses in the divisions have met. And those names have been also processed through the nomination committee. But this afternoon, we would like to bring before you the report of the general vice presidents of the General Conference. These names were reviewed by the nomination committee, but the nomination committee decided that as they function as a team together, that the nominating committee would like to vote them and recommend these names to you as a team. So I would like to invite our secretary to present to you the names of the general vice presidents of the General Conference as a recommended team.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. We're bringing then the nominating committee report number 4 to this floor. For the position of General Conference General Vice President, the name of Thomas Lemon, incumbent to that position. For the position of a General Conference General Vice President, Mrs. Audrey Anderson, incumbent to that position. Also, at the position of General Conference General Vice President, Pastor Pierre Omeler, incumbent to that position also. For the position of General Conference General Vice President, Pastor Arthur Stelly, incumbent to that position also. For the 5th name, we're bringing as a General Conference Vice President, Pastor Saul Samuel, currently serving as President of the Southern Asia Pacific Division based in the Philippines.
Associate Secretary. He's Associate Secretary of General Conference.
I'm sorry, we got the what he was previously serving. He was a president of the Southern Asia Division, but right now he is an associate secretary of the General Conference. For the position of General Conference General Vice President, we bring the name of Pastor Leonard Johnson, currently serving as the executive secretary of the Inter-American Division of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And for the position of General Vice President, Pastor Robert Jose Bonzu, currently serving as President of the West Central Africa Division of the General Conference of the Adventist Church. I move it, Pastor Chair.
All right, it's been moved. Is there a second? Seconded, thank you. Again, we will proceed to vote this as one report together as advised, and therefore we will use our EB to do that. Timothy Standish on microphone number 10.
Thank you, Brother Chairman. Could I plead with this body for us to vote on these individuals? Now that we've seen the team, could we please vote on them individually? I think that by presenting a group like this, it unduly gives advantage and disadvantage, depending on how you look at things, to different individuals. The power of this group here should be respected in voting for each nominee individually. Thank you.
And we have a provision that we have used traditionally, though voting it as a block. If you have any observation or you want to share something with the nominating committee, you will be free to do so. Otherwise, we will proceed to vote this as a block together. All right? All right, let's proceed.
All right, Mr. Chairman, the report of the nominating committee will be open election buddy here shortly. It is open,
right.
Mr. Chairman.
It's open now. You can proceed to indicate your wish on the proposal before us. And please do not forget to submit once you have indicated your vote.
All right, Mr. Chairman, the ballot is closed. We'll have the results here shortly.
All right, the results are before us here. Okay, the motion carries. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, I would like to invite the General Vice Presidents of the General Conference to join us here.
Let me take a point of order before we proceed. Microphone number 10, Kimberly Ferreira, Andrews University.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to make a clarification or ask for clarification. It was mentioned that if we had something to contribute, we should speak to the nominating committee. When would that have been appropriate? My understanding was the nominating committee is sequestered and not to be under the influence of external opinions. Can you please clarify?
When the report is brought and put before the floor, if you have something you can indicate, come to the microphone as usual, indicate if you want to comment about a name. You don't do it in the public here. We will allow you to meet with the chair of the nominating committee.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Presidents are before us. Congratulations. At one time, I sat where they sat. So I'm so happy. God bless you. With those reports from the nominating committee having been voted, we can now proceed to the Constitution and bylaws.